Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Microbusinesses on a Mission Facebook Live. This is Emmy Damien, and I am excited to introduce to you today a person who has a very unique mission, one that you probably haven't heard yet or are seeing a business similar to it. I'm very excited to introduce to you Christina Valenzuela of Pearl and Thistle. Welcome, Christina.
Hi, Emmy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Oh, so am I. So am I. I'm very excited with your mission and what you have done so far. It's a fairly new business. So,
Yes. Yep.
but first, let's maybe talk about who you are.
Sure. Yeah. So, as you said, my name's Christina Valenzuela. My husband's family is from Chile, so that's where I get the beautiful name. I'm a wife and mother. I have 4 kids, ages 10 to 2. And I've been a certified natural family planning instructor since 2013. Another common term might be fertility awareness. So I teach people how to navigate family planning naturally using their natural biorhythms. And so now I am the owner and the sole proprietor of a business called Pearl and Thistle, which is what we're going to dive into today.
Wonderful. I mean, we've all heard about natural family planning, even before, going natural and being green became
Mm-hmm.
the rage, right?
Right.
But this is unique. Your business is unique, and that's kind of what I try to do here is feature businesses that are not just kind of run of the mill and
Mm-hmm.
ordinary. Maybe you could tell us about the business, what you offer, and also I'm very curious about the name.
Yeah. So we'll start with what I offer. Beyond the scope of natural family planning, which I do for couples or even for single women who are just learning how to chart and they want to observe for health, right? Beyond that, I have kind of extensive body literacy programs. So body literacy, learning to read the language of our body and the signs of our body, is the building block for family planning. But body literacy also just encompasses knowledge about our cycles and being comfortable exploring these aspects of our feminine bodies. So I have additionally menstrual cycle education programs for parents and daughters to attend together. And then I also do speaking events. So I coordinate things for parishes if they have topics related to family planning or to body literacy, theology of the body, if it's a Catholic parish. And then I've sort of expanded into providing resources for parishes to try and help them figure out how to offer these resources more at a local level. So the name Pearl and Thistle is actually paying homage to my ancestors. So I am related to Queen Margaret of Scotland and Malcolm Canmore. Yep. So my mom is big into genealogy, and Margaret is considered a saint in the Catholic Church. Malcolm is not, probably for good reason. But I've had a soft spot for her for a long time. And then my mom was going back in our genealogical records, and she was like, "Did you realize we're direct ancestors?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, no, really?" And so when I was thinking about, what sort of name encompasses how I envision myself and the ministry that I do and how my family fits into that, I really wanted to take Margaret as a special patroness, that she was a wife and a mother and a queen and a saint and just so many things that you would want to aspire to. So Pearl and Thistle is about the Pearl, Margaret of Scotland, and then the Thistle, which is Malcolm. So.
Oh my goodness, I love their story. I've been to the castle.
Have you really? Oh my
And
gosh,
I
I would
didn't.
love to go.
It's Edinburgh, right?
Yeah.
And I honestly never knew her until then. And when I heard the story of how she kind of tamed him and
Right.
the thistle, right?
Right, exactly.
It's just a very romantic story.
It is so romantic. I mean, you have to start the story with her getting shipwrecked and him finding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if anybody out there doesn't know the story, just do yourself a favor and find out about them.
If you're ever in Edinburgh, you have to go to the castle, and it's just a lovely story of true love, really, right?
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
And they're very different. So
yes.
I love that juxtaposition of the contrast. So yeah, I mean, everyone kind of has heard of natural family planning or cycles and all that. It's kind of a taboo topic, really,
Yes.
for some, but most especially for teens and
Mm,
tweens. And I
mm,
think that's what separates you from the rest.
mm.
You hear about natural family, but that's mostly for couples and, where
Right.
people who are getting married and want to go green, whatever. It's the
Hmm.
greenest
Yeah. Yeah.
family planning. So how do the teens and tweens fit into this? Because they kind
Yeah.
of get left out of that whole educational part. And that's why I love what you do, because daughters, it's hard enough growing as a teen in this day
Yes.
and age, but
Yeah.
to have this on top of everything else, and it's a change, and nobody's really talking about it in public. Well, it's not in
Hmm.
public, but in education,
Yeah.
um, to kind of handhold them through this process. And even the parents probably don't feel equipped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does that work out?
Yeah, well, I started thinking about this gap that we had in education for girls when I started seeing more and more couples, and routinely, they would say, "Wow, I never knew this. I wish I would have known this sooner." Or I even, I've worked with some nurses who have done NFP sessions with me, and they'll say, "I went through nursing school and never learned this." And I thought, well, we can do better. And so that's when I really started thinking about, well, how can we get this information to girls sooner? Not specifically the fertility component, because a 10-year-old girl doesn't need to be thinking about fertility. But she can be really powerfully equipped to understand and respect and appreciate the work that her body's doing by giving her the knowledge about what's actually going on. I mean, I think we do a fairly good job these days about teaching girls about periods and about kind of what their options are for sanitary products. But I think then we move from there to like, here's how to not get pregnant. And, what girls need right before they start their period is not all the conversations about how not to get pregnant. Like, that's stuff that they're not really thinking about. What I want to give them is just a really good understanding of all the other things that your body goes through in the course of a cycle that's not just your period. There's so much more to cycles than bleeds. And so if we get girls the tools to kind of understand what's going on in their bodies and to respect their bodies, it makes puberty less anxiety inducing. It puts them in the driver's seat when it comes to asking questions and feeling really empowered about understanding their cycles. And I think it can help them transition through puberty in a much more positive way, because let's face it, like, there are a lot of things that may not feel great about periods. But the more that we can do to kind of build a positive internal script for them, and then to teach them that, like, we can create a culture where this is respected and that it's not taboo and it's not shameful. We can do this for each other and we can help each other out. So that's all a part of my kind of my tween and maybe early teen presentation programs. It's just really getting them the science and then encouraging them to help, change society and to create a culture of care for each other. And by doing that, hopefully we're starting with some building blocks that, like, we're giving them the basics of body literacy so that when they get older, if they want to use this for family planning, it's not new. It's not a brand new idea. They're like, oh yeah, now I see how this idea can evolve as I evolve as a young woman.
That's wonderful. And I love that term, body literacy. It
Mm,
just makes you feel like it's something that can be known and something that you
yes.
can learn even as a young girl. I mean, in this
Hmm.
case, really, knowledge is power, right? You don't,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you're not at the, you're not just like, when is it coming? And
Right.
just cross your fingers that it's short and quick. And but to actually feel like what's going on practically every day,
Hmm.
you kind of
Yeah.
know what to expect. It does leave the anxiety part out. I'm curious because, of course, we're kind of talking about what you do, and um, so what? And probably people are also wondering, well, why can't I just get it from my mom or my doctor
Mm,
or a book? And what's or online, since everything's online now, like what makes your workshops different? Because it's mostly workshops, right?
Well, actually, so I have kind of two options. So I have an online self-paced course. So it's for learning modules, and you can work through them at your own pace in the privacy of your own home. So they're designed to be done parent and daughter together. The other thing that I offer is for groups, like if you are a school, if you're a parish, if you're a scouting troop or a homeschool co-op, and you'd like to present this material with a group. So I will do live workshops that way via Zoom. God willing, we'll be able to get in person sometime soon, and I'll be able to do local ones on site. But yeah, so I have those two options. So, you know, you can either do it as a group and you can do it as a live event. You can book me for that. Or you can just visit my online teaching platform, and I have a course that you can just do on your own pace, you know, and work through with your daughter one at a time.
That's wonderful. And does it, obviously this is a tough age for some parents and daughters, you know, mother-daughter, sometimes it's probably easier to hear it from someone else. Have you heard from any feedback? Like what kind of feedback to get both from the parents and the daughters?
The parents, you know, I've gotten some really great feedback from parents who either, you know, they've started these conversations at home and they are just really looking for it. They're like, you know what, my daughter, she's just not listening to me. I want her to hear it from someone else too. So it's a way to reinforce the values that you're already giving your daughter, right? Have somebody else tell them that your body is good, your body is healthy for doing this. You know, here's how to talk to a grown-up. It opens up lines of communication between the two of them, between parent and daughter. I really want to strengthen that relationship. I'm not looking to supplant it. And then the other thing is the girls, right? I've gotten some feedback that they just, for whatever reason, they hear it differently when it comes from somebody else. Right. So even the moms that have told me, oh, yeah, I've already had this talk with my daughter, their daughter will say, oh, did you hear her say that this, that, and the other? And she'll say, yeah, I told you that, but I'm glad you were listening. And then the other thing that I hope it does is, you know, maybe there are some parents who never got this information themselves. Maybe they don't really know and don't feel necessarily confident. So, you know, as I said, like, I'm not trying to supplant their relationship, but what I want to do is just give them really quality information that then they can take and they can have a conversation with their daughter. So you can learn side by side, have a shared experience of learning, and feel much better equipped that way.
And ask questions.
That's right. Yes. Yep.
Now, in terms of credentials, you know, people will be asking, well, are you a doctor? How did you end up tackling this as your field, I guess?
Yeah, you know, so being an NFP instructor, you go through extensive training. So I'm not a certified healthcare professional. Some natural family planning methods will require that. The method that I teach does not. But it's an extensive training, and then you go through multiple supervised practicum over the years. And so I've been working in this field since 2013, just doing family planning courses and consultations and things like that. And I think one of the things is that I'm just I've been really encouraged over the years to dig deeper, right? And to learn and to read and to keep going. So some of this I've picked up kind of naturally through my kind of continuing education with my coursework. The other thing is that I did preview all of the material that I have in my cycle prep course with pediatricians. I wanted to make sure that I got everything accurate. And so I did have them preview and kind of sign off on the presentation of the material just to make sure. I wanted to be sure that I was giving girls accurate information beyond what I could pick up reading on my own.
That's wonderful. And the girls seem to respond to that. I mean, the way you present it is clearly not just a lecture.
Right. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, the girls have a good response. I do love, you know, I'm only one person, so I can't do live workshops for everyone. But when I do have a private workshop, when it's a mom's group or a parish, I love being able to interact with the girls. I give them the option to do like an FAQ at the end, or to just like submit questions via the chat feature in Zoom if they want to. And, they're curious. They're naturally curious. And I think they appreciate having a venue where they're told that, like, you can ask these questions and you can feel comfortable asking these questions. We give them permission to talk about it and to be inquisitive. And I really delight in that aspect of doing the live workshops, of just seeing how their brains work and which things they get fixated on. Some girls, you're just like, oh, interesting. That's what you're going to focus on. Okay, well, let's delve into it. Every girl's unique and they respond different ways.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're doing most or all of it online. Are you just within your parish, or are you across the different states, how far do you reach right now?
Yeah, well, so I have natural family planning clients all over the United States. I have a couple international clients that I'm working with right now. With the online stuff, with the cycle prep, I've been able to reach moms groups literally all over the country. And then I've been working too with different dioceses and contacting different schools, again, all over the country. So when I get to be in person, I'll definitely, I already have some local groups that are ready to have me come in as soon as we can. And I will love to do that. But for now, I'm just enjoying the ability to kind of reach out and to share this information and this education with women and girls all over.
So was the pandemic, in a way, it gave you a little push to be more, to reach more people?
Yeah, absolutely. Specifically with my workshops, I had planned to do them only in person, and I had some spots lined up for that locally, and then we had to move everything online. And once I started doing them via Zoom, I thought, oh, this works. And it works to the extent that I could even make a course out of it. And, so it definitely shifted my mindset, I think, and challenged me to grow in ways that maybe I hadn't been anticipating quite so soon. So yeah.
Yes, and presumably those girls who are undergoing these changes at home, separated from their friends and can't really connect with them as much, that it's a little bit of a boost to be able to have your course and maybe connect with them through that too.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. I love what you're doing. I love the history of your name. I love meeting you.
Yeah, likewise.
I really think this is a much needed mission that your business is doing, not just the NFP part, which is also important, but for me, what stands out really is this service for teens and tweens and their parents.
Right. Yeah, really for the parents. Yeah.
Really for the parents, because if the teen daughters know what's going on, and especially if it comes from someone outside their mom, it gives them permission to talk about it too on their own, and kind of start more deeper conversations maybe, or just start a conversation maybe they wouldn't have talked about it before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you are online. How can we contact you to get information? Is it Instagram, Facebook, website, or everything?
Yeah, all of the above. And it's really simple. My website is pearlandthistle.com. And then I'm at Pearl and Thistle, both Facebook and Instagram. So if you can remember Pearl and Thistle, you'll be able to find me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Christina. I love what you do. And I think it's a much needed mission, business, and apostolate, really. And I wish you all the best. And for anyone who's watching this live or online or on replay, I will include all her contact information in the description of the video.
Thanks so much, Emmy.
Thank you, Christina. Very nice to meet you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.